Welcome to Golf and the Good Life, your guide to golf travel across the pond. I'm DJ Jones, he is Connor Evers, and today we are talking about some recent travels that we had, as well as some new and maybe new to us discoveries that we made along the way. But before we get there, Connor, great to see you as always, man. It's our last episode of the year. Looking forward to the holiday season and so forth. What's the latest and greatest on your side of the screen?
Yeah, Deej, appreciate the intro. Can't believe it's the last one of the year and episode 73, which is amazing. But yeah, kind of the status quo from the last episode and last update, just kind of working on our last planning and what have you for 2026. As like we're talking about, this episode here is the last one of the year. We're kind of in mode of PGA show planning too, which is crazy. And yeah, it'll be 2027 planning here before we know it too. So status quo, but all good things on the planning front.
I assure everyone out there that's watching on the video feed, we did not coordinate our outfits today.
I thought about
realizing that we are now both wearing gray long sleeve shirts. This wasn't by design, but here we are. Before we get going on the topic, I've got to give a quick shout out to the folks at the Golfers Journal.
Yeah.
Every year they do an annual gift for their premium subscribers. Last year it was this nice bag. This year, I'm going to try to see if I can show you this. It was this unbelievable book. The thing is huge, as you can see. Hundreds of pages worth of incredible photography. Tom Coyne did the writing for it. I'll tell you, the mark of a good gift, it was actually misdelivered to my neighbor upstairs in our building. And he brings it down and he says, I knew as soon as I picked it up that it was something you were going to want. Because the thing must weigh 15 pounds. Oh. It's absolutely impressive. I've said it before, if you don't subscribe to the Golfers Journal, you really should subscribe to the Golfers Journal. This is just one more reason. They're not paying us to say that. We're just fans of what they do and want to share the good word. But back to today's topic at hand. We're talking about some recent travels that Connor and I both had. We mentioned it in both of the most recent episodes. And, you know, this time of year, kind of everyone on the H&B team, not everyone, but most everyone on the H&B team ends up fanning out across Great Britain and Ireland. And usually between us, we're spending 2 or 3 months overseas when it's all combined together, checking in with our partners and friends at the various hotels and golf courses and so forth. And, you know, we're in a really fortunate position that we can do that. It's so much more than just going to an industry event and spending 1 or 2 days on a familiarization trip. We're out on our own, spending weeks at a time, checking in with everyone. But more importantly, we're also discovering a lot of new things along the way. And every single year, all of us come home with at least 1 or 2 things that get added to our repertoire, if you will. And it's that little bit of continuous improvement that we enjoy each and every year. And so the investment of the time and resources for us to do that inevitably gets reinvested back into the experience for our members. So we thought it would be fun. I think we did this last year as well, to kind of talk about what we found along the way on our trips. This one's going to focus largely on you, Connor, because between the two of us, you were over for far more than I was. I think I was there for just under a week. I think you were there for 3.5 weeks, somewhere along there.
3, yeah.
Give us let's start with kind of the bullet point rundown of where you went.
Sure. Well, I'll start. This trip wasn't going to be 3 weeks to start off. It was only going to be, I think, 8.
They never are.
Yeah.
They never are.
I think it was going to be 8 nights to start, which we'll talk about it, but it was the Elevate industry event, which started in England and ended in St. Andrews. So my trip was only going to be there. And it was, like I said, I think it was 7 or 8 nights in total. There was a familiarization trip in Northern Ireland that we were invited to, which was a couple of weeks before this. And I was going to go over for that, fly back, and then fly back over for that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay in Ireland. So that's how we got to 3 weeks. We'll start there.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Exactly. But kind of bullet points. So spent, I think, 3 or 4 nights, 4 nights in Northern Ireland, up in Portrush, a few nights in the Slieve Donard, right by Royal County Down, and as well as in Belfast. And then pretty much went from kind of the Southwest Ireland full swing from Doonbeg to Killarney all the way down to Kinsale. So spent 6 or so nights, give or take, in between kind of that corner, and then some time in Dublin as well. So played some great courses. I got Royal County Down, both courses there, the Annesley as well as a championship, both courses at Royal Portrush as well. I've got Waterville, Tralee, Ballybunion, Old Head on the kind of other list too for Ireland. And then I headed over to England into the Elevate event, which was in the Liverpool area. So I was able to spend some time there too. Got some great golf, Southport and Ainsdale, Royal Lytham and St. Anne's, Royal Liverpool, and I'm blanking on what. Oh, Hillside was the other one. So some great golf in and around that area too. And then we flew up on a chartered flight up to St. Andrews and was there for kind of the rest of the meetings and the end of the event too. So that's kind of the 411, if you will, of the trip. But it was a great 3 weeks. Almost try not to be in a different hotel every night, but it kind of led into that. So, but it was great seeing some. I think I saw upwards of about 30 hotels throughout the entire time between staying them and visiting them. So it was all great. Some new ones that have come on board since the open at Royal Portrush. And some ones that I've stayed in before, just kind of seeing some updates on that too, and new courses as well, which is lovely.
And unreal stuff. 30 different hotels is unbelievable. I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That firsthand experience. I mean, it's kind of tough to find enough time and enough resources for somebody to go and investigate and check out 30 different hotels. That's awesome. And I mean, what a lineup of courses. I mean, I counted 3 members of the Open Rota. One you didn't mention, so I know there's actually 4. We'll talk about that in a second. And Royal County Down in the mix. So let's actually start there, because we alluded to this trip on a previous episode, and I had asked you what you were looking forward to most, and you knew to the exact minute your tee time at Royal County Down, how far away it was. So tell me about RCD. How did it clock in to expectations?
Sure. An amazing experience there. Big shout out to Bill Donald, the new general manager. Just an absolute fantastic experience at the club. The day before I actually played the championship course, I played the Annesley Links. I mean, what an amazing facility and club. I mean, similar or essentially the same conditions between the Annesley and the championship course. Those first 9 holes, I mean, even taking the view of the more mountains away, you can't find just solid 9 holes in a row of links golf just like that. I mean, they're phenomenal. And then obviously having the background and the backdrop, it's heavenly. It really is. And still get kind of the same experiences on going out on the back 9 too. Recommend everyone doing it. It's just as good as the hype is, if you will. Cool green complexes, amazing bunkering, and you're just walking around. You're like, wow, this is great, and it meets and exceeds expectations from the overall experience. Like I said, the caddies were great, dining experience was amazing, and just the visitor experience. You just truly feel like a member for the day. But can't say enough great things, and for the great hospitality we had there in Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever had a different answer to did it exceed expectations. Yeah. And to be able to do it paired with the sleeve. I'm remembering our episode with Dan Wood when he came on and talked about his recent trip. And he's like, you're staying at the Sleeve Donard and you walk through this metal archway that looks like you're entering a cemetery. Yep. But on the other side of the metal archway is the #1 ranked golf course in the world. And it's absolutely unbelievable. But awesome stuff. And, great find on the Annesley. I mean, because listen, the Annesley is not something that a lot of people play. Most don't. And you're thinking about, okay, you've got this once in a lifetime experience. I use quotes because it's never once in a lifetime. You will be back. Yep. But if you're looking to extend your day at Royal County Down, go give it a loop. I mean, it sounds like it was totally worth the time.
Yeah. I mean, if you start there like I did, I mean, I flew into Dublin, went right up and got into my room and went right over and played. I hit 2 drivers the entire round. Everything else was irons. I mean, it's a tight course, so you expect to lose some golf balls. But I also think the green complexes are fairly small, so it gets you used to links golf. So it's a good start. It's also just an amazing club and facility too. So if you're playing the championship course in the morning or afternoon, pair it if you want to make it a 36-hole day. You also get around pretty quickly just because it's shorter distance. I was behind kind of a tournament, a medal play that was going on, but I mean, it took me 3 hours to play by myself, and that was behind an event. I mean, expect a couple hours, 2.5 hours to get around. So it's a great time.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So not to gloss over a whole lot of places, but then, I mean, obviously from there, you did the entire rest of the island for the most part. So some highlights from there. What's new at Portrush? Tell me about the Southwest. Let's just keep on going.
Yeah, so Portrush, the club actually built their own kind of lodging that's right off the fourth hole called the Rosses. I know you've seen it before, DJ, but it's really cool. It's right off the fourth hole there, and if you do are able to stay there, you actually get or granted access to member tee times on the Dunloose. But it was really nice and unique experience to play that course, especially in the year that the Open was there too. So not something that we can do all the time, but the Dunloose Links was phenomenal. There's no bad hole out there. They are all super solid, and I'm looking forward to another Open there, and it's well deserving of it on the Dunloose Links. And on this trip, I played the Valley Links, which is not the other course that Royal Portrush has there. It's my second time. There's kind of coming off of a renovation of the course. Fantastic work to it. Some new holes as well that kind of brings the sea a little bit more into view. It's kind of funny. Some of the holes I definitely remember, like, oh, know exactly what this was. And I played it, the second time. I'm like, I do not remember this at all. I'm like, is this new? And it's like, no, it's not. So it's always fun playing them again, even after a few years, and kind of get the experience there. And yeah, it was just a phenomenal experience up in Northern Ireland, and spent some time in Belfast too, which was great. And then got in the car and drove all the way down to the Southwest area. So started at Doonbeg, and then did some little bit of touring around there, and then spent a lot more time in Killarney in the town. I spent some time with our partners at O'Callaghan Coaches and got to see some of the coaches. And for the ones that are listening to this that have been on a trip or going to be on a trip with us, I'm so jealous because you have such a amazing trip, in one of these coaches. I mean, we all knew it, but like seeing it firsthand, you've got such a luxurious experience from the moment you land in the airport to the day you depart and everything in between. So it's great checking in with them and kind of seeing what's new on their side of things too. But yeah, I got to play some also great golf. The old course at Ballybunion, as I mentioned, Tralee, Old Head, and Waterville. I think that's it. I might be missing some, but that was it. So the Southwest is amazing. Just sea views everywhere. Can't beat it down there. It was great.
Any favorite spots? I mean, you sent me a video from Old Head. I want to say you were on the 4th or the 12th at
Yeah.
Old Head. I can't remember which. It felt like you were going to fly off the side of the peninsula because the wind was howling so hard. But any
Yeah.
favorite spots there or elsewhere on the Southwest coast?
Yeah. I will say I got phenomenal weather. So I played all these courses in kind of like
You
the
did.
late, yeah, third week of October. Playing Ballybunion, I went off right in the morning. I actually went off about 30 minutes earlier than I should have, because there was a storm coming in that I was lucky enough to get out of the way. Some of these rounds, it was almost odd and eerie because there was no wind and no rain, and it was just perfect. Like the flags at Ballybunion did not move. Oddly enough, it's kind of makes it harder in links golf to play without any wind, or it's just different. But yeah, so the round at Old Head, it is, even the drive coming in and just the walk. I mean, there's nothing like it. It's almost like overstimulating, and you get done with the round, you're like, I need some time to just like sit, because it's visually so stimulating, like I said. But yes, I sent you a video from the 12th hole. The 12th hole, it's completely exposed. And walking up there, I mean, it was probably blowing 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. But then you go to the next holes and everything's kind of tucked down, and there's no wind. So it's a really unique experience. Did get hail on the 7th hole at Old Head, but that was the extent of my weather on any round. So yeah, that was again third week of October, when there's essentially no visitors at some of the clubs, left for the rest of the year. Tralee was great, amazing views there. Course is phenomenal, but it's very difficult. If you're in a certain area, and sometimes you have blind shots and you're hitting maybe long irons into greens where you just got to set up and just hit the golf shot. It's a little bit more challenging than some others, but phenomenal views from that standpoint too. And Waterville is just a treat to be out, kind of at the far of the ring. And I now even more recommend groups to, try and get a midday tee time and do some touring beforehand or afterhand, while you're driving out there too. So you can kind of mix touring and golf into one, but just phenomenal experience. Of course, down there amazing.
It was brutal being on the other end of our 4-person text thread between you,
Yeah.
myself, Chris McCon, our director of planning, and Mike Walters, another expedition planning manager who's been on the podcast. And it's just photo after photo, and it's Connor with clear blue skies in shirt sleeves a couple
Yeah.
times in late October playing links golf in Southwest Ireland. It was the best kind of torture, I think, that that you could have dialed up. I mean, it was
Yeah.
unreal. How good is that 17th tee at Ballybunion?
It's insane. Well, I go up to the top and I was playing, I think, just like the winter tees, which I think they're a mixture between the yellows and the whites. That's usually what they do in the winter time. But they did have the tips way back, and it started getting breezy. I'm like, I'm not playing those, so I just want to have fun and see it. But I couldn't see the bench, and so I'm walking up like, where is this? And I had to walk all the way up to the top. I'm like, oh, all right. I get it. I get it now. But the back nine at Ballybunion is insane, amazing. And the par threes just throughout are super stout, back-to-back par threes on the back too, which I like. But yeah, it's phenomenal. One of those courses you could play every day and not get old. The Mass hole at Waterville is really unique and really cool. Had a phenomenal caddy at Tralee, showed me around really well, kind of a local for the Tralee town. Just goes back, have caddies. They add to the experience. They help you find golf balls one, but locals, and kind of gave you the history of everything too. So yeah, but just phenomenal. I love Ireland so much. The Guinness was great too. So
Well, I'm glad you brought that up,
Mhm.
because that was a whole lot of golf talk.
Yeah,
And this show is Golf and the Good Life. So, good life spots. I
yeah.
mean, I know what you found, but tell me what, tell us what you found along the way.
Well, there's a video from you, Deej, that went viral last couple months ago to the Doolin area of Ireland, and it was
Viral-ish, but sure.
yeah.
Viral for golf travel, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes. But we had a couple pubs up in the Doolin area. So I can't remember how far the drive would have been from Doolin to Doonbeg, but I'm gonna lie at 40
30
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah,
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 it's not
yeah,
far.
yeah. And a phenomenal fish and chips at both locations. McDermott's and remind me of the other one, Deej. I'm blanking on it. McDermott's.
McGann's.
McGann's. Thank you. So went to both. Fantastic. I'm not going to say which one's better or anything, but both are really good. The Guinness is phenomenal. Spent some time, like I said, three or four nights in Killarney. JM Reedy's fantastic. I think my dad was actually with me in the Killarney area as well as in Dublin. I think we went two or three times there. So got lunch and went pretty much every night, pretty much 7 nights a week. They've got live music from a local band, what have you. And even in kind of middle of the week in October, I mean, it's still busy, that town of Killarney. I can't imagine what it is, and it's Friday or Saturday night in the June or July when it's great weather. Just the town in general, but that pub in specific. But just the pub scene, the restaurant scene in Killarney. I mean, it's very touristy, but there are tons of places to go, and the food and everything is amazing. But yeah, I'm trying to think what other things. We went to Skelly Chocolate out on the Ring of Kerry too. Recommend that. They don't have like a tour of, hey, how's it, this is how our chocolate is made, but that's a cool little pairing after or before Waterville to go there. It's just only a few minutes down the road from Waterville golf links too. I'm trying to think there's some other ones that
Well,
kind
how
of came about.
about
Yeah. Mhm.
before we jump across the Irish Sea to
Yeah.
England?
Yeah.
Our friends at the Killarney Park
Yeah.
just finished a fairly extensive renovation. When I was there
Yeah.
in April, they were
Hmm.
wrapping it up. How'd it look?
Oh, geez, super good. Incredible experience there. Stayed there for a night. Wish it would have been 4 nights. It's one of those where some of our groups, or a couple that we have planned each year, specifically some of my groups that just go there for 5, 6, 7 nights and they play golf and out of there and tour some of the days. I'm jealous of them because that hotel is phenomenal. The staff is amazing. Food was great. The cocktail bar in there at night. I mean, my dad and I and another two couples were there. They have a lady playing the piano, and just it's unpretentious luxury. That's what I love, like kind of like to say about it. But can't say enough great things about them, and it's an amazing time there. I also wanted to mention too. And we talked about it on the podcast, but I used to work at Adair Manor before spending time here at H&B, and was able to go there and kind of see the course and preparing for 2027 for the Ryder Cup. And going into the town of Adair, the biggest thing is going in, I don't recognize some of this stuff, and they've got dirt moved everywhere, construction zone. This isn't close. This is probably half a mile away from actually Adair Manor, but when you get into the town, but they're potentially looks like they're going to put in a train station there that you can take it. They don't have all the details exactly yet, but from other towns throughout Ireland that'll go right into there just to make logistics a little bit better for and preparing for 2027. So yeah, it was pretty neat. They're also putting a bypass off one of the M roads there too that'll go directly right into Adair instead of going through some smaller roads too. So they're very much preparing for the logistics of 2027 and what'll come from it too.
So, okay, that's a lot of Ireland talk. Awesome stuff, man. I mean, I feel like we could have done 2 or 3 episodes on just your time in Ireland. Let's jump across to England. What'd you do? You mentioned Liverpool, so let's start there, I guess.
Yep, spent some time on the golf courses between Southport and Ainsdale, Royal Lytham and St Anne's, Royal Liverpool and Hillside. The golf in England, let me tell you, is fantastic. And anyone that's sleeping on the area, if they're like, hey, we've done St Andrews, we've done Southwest Ireland, we've done Northern Ireland, or go to this area. Or even, I feel even more confident with groups going there for their first time. Believe it or not, even with seeing what Liverpool is all about, just the pubs and the restaurants and how passionate the people are of that town of Liverpool. Go for your first trip. Maybe a little bit bullish of me of saying, but seriously, it is that good. Having the three Royals there, and if you stay in Southport or in the town of Liverpool, they're right there, or it's 30 to 40 minute drive. Or Lytham and St. Anne's, a little bit further of a drive from Liverpool, but nonetheless, the golf is phenomenal. These folks and people in the hospitality, all these clubs are just amazing. Like I said, got to spend some time at Southport and Ainsdale. Amazing links experience. You've got the train that goes right by, and you look over to your right on some of the back nine. You're like, oh, that's golf. You're like, wait, I've seen those holes before. And you've got Hillside and Royal Birkdale right next to each other on the other side of the train line that you can see from Southport and Ainsdale. So it's just plethora of links golf, heathland golf. That's all just one central location. And just talking about the area in general. And then one of my favorite holes at Southport and Ainsdale was the 16th hole. Gumblies is the name of it. You tee off, the railroad's to the right, so you can't spray it to the right. You'd be OB and you're hitting another one. But if you do safely hit the fairway, you're then hitting a second shot kind of to a blinded area. And this bunker is way up kind of in this mounded area. And you just have to hit it kind of over it and hit it into the abyss, essentially. And the green is kind of tucked around to the right. So just a phenomenal golf hole, and coming in 18 is amazing too. So that was a great experience. And then the following day, I was able to play Royal Lytham in St. Anne's. Probably the worst weather I've ever played golf in before, DJ. It was from a wind and rain and cold. I mean, it didn't snow, but it was darn near close, I swear. But from all those three components, it was the toughest. It's so cold, you're kind of feel it on your neck, it's kind of one of those. Going out, the wind was down, so that was nice. And then coming back in on a few of those holes, they do kind of play around this kind of the general area of the loop, but then the holes kind of play amongst it too. So you got different wind directions, but majority of the holes starting were down, which were great. And then everything else was just everywhere. So it was a tough experience, but getting to go into the clubhouse and got a tour. His name was Jeff. He was kind of the gentleman that meets and greets visiting groups. So if you have 10 minutes or up to an hour, we'll give you a tour of the whole facility, give you the history of the club. Bobby Jones will, the centennium next year, 2026, to him winning the Open there. They're inviting members from Augusta National and some other clubs in the United States. It's kind of a celebration of it. There's also 100 years of them getting royalty status at the club too. So really neat, because they're kind of celebrating both in one year, as well as hosting the AIG Women's Open in 2026 too. So they got really fun things going on at the club, and just a great time. Well bunkered golf course. That's the kind of the big thing that I'll also say. They're everywhere. And then was able to play Hillside. Fantastic club. The front nine, it's a little bit more subtle. You kind of see the dunes out. And then once you get out to the back nine, you play kind of within the dunes, and it's just a really unique experience. So kind of feels a little bit different from both nines, but really liked my time there. The other cool thing is all these clubs, especially some of the Royals, but also the Formbies, the Hillsides, the SNAs, the hang at the clubs is fantastic. I mean, they all have patios that overlook the first tee and the 18th green. I mean, Hillside was great. And my member was there and was just chatting with me about where other places I'm playing, and bought me a coffee. They're just super hospitable people. And my last course in England was Hoylake, Royal Liverpool. Man, I can't say enough great things. I read a book this past year about John Ball and kind of learning about the history of him and his family and what, everything meant to the club. So that was really neat, kind of seeing it in person firsthand. Watched, the videos of Rory and Brian Harmon recently and Tiger, especially winning there and just playing those links courses. You can't replicate that really anywhere else. But overall, great experience on the golf courses there in the Liverpool area.
You're right. It deserves so much more attention than it gets from the traveling golfer. Just the concentration of golf and the fact that if you don't want to, you don't have to change hotels. You could do it all from one place. And yeah, you've got a couple days where you'll have a slightly longer drive, but these courses are so close together. I mean, the best example is when I was there last year, whenever it was, I was flying my drone at Royal Birkdale, and I had the drone in the air facing the famous clubhouse at Birkdale. And on the left-hand side of the screen, I'm like, what is that? And I kind of like fly over there, and it's the clubhouse at Hillside. They're literally only separated by basically the driving range for one of the clubs. I'm not even sure which one it was. They're that close together. But you're right. The hospitality, the England clubs can sometimes get a little bit of a bum rap because my experience, they've always been super welcoming, and they want to share the club and they want to share the history. It goes back to that member for a day thing. I might talk more about that here in a minute, but moving it to perhaps a number one trip is really saying something for sure.
Yeah, and I think just also like the golf is phenomenal. I can go on and on and on. I already have. I can go on and on about it, but the hospitality in Liverpool is amazing. I mean, I got to see and stay at the Hope Street Hotel as well as the Municipal Hotel. Both are phenomenal. You walk out of both of them, and there's a plethora of pubs and restaurants that are right there. So the experience at night is great. You've got two football clubs in town there. You can take tours of that. You've got the Cavern Club, which we can talk about too. Which we had a private event there that was just for us, which was a lot of fun. And especially by the Municipal. I mean, you walk right outside. It's Maffey Street. That's where the Cavern Club is, and it's just pub, restaurant everywhere. Kind of described it in my report. If you stay closer to the Gulf, maybe more towards the Southport area, you're less drive times, right? But if you stay in Liverpool, a little bit longer, but you have kind of more of those things to do at night. And I kind of compare it, contrast as like staying in East Lothian versus Edinburgh for your golf at Muirfield and North Berwick versus what we're just talking about now. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that and what have you. But overall, great time, loved it. I really want to go again.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And you made a good point there. If you go, say, early in the season, April, May, or you go late in the season, September, October range, you're getting into Premier League time, I think.
Right.
And so, if you're a Liverpool fan or an Everton fan, go catch a couple games, play a handful of rounds of golf. Man, what a combo. Okay, so that's England. You then went to the home of golf, St. Andrews. Run down the time there, man. I feel like we're going from one headliner to the next with you here.
Yeah, so we were on a chartered flight from Liverpool up to Edinburgh, which was really fun. So this is kind of when the kind of industry event really kind of truly started. There's about 120, 150 of us, give or take, I think, from other companies, along with some of the clubs, in the Liverpool area, along with the staff from Elevate that flew up to Edinburgh. And this is kind of when the rest of the trip started, and stayed 4 nights at the Fairmont St. Andrews. It's got a 10 or so minute drive outside of town. And that's kind of where we had some meetings of, some other partners from across the pond, and some new ones that we may look at potentially using in the future too. But to cap off the trip, I mean, was phenomenal. Was able to ballot on the old course and was successful with it, which was great. Don't take my advice as well. The first time I balloted one day and got on. The second time I wasn't expecting it. I balloted one day and also got on. So again, don't take my advice, but I'm just a lucky guy, I guess. So, but it was phenomenal playing the old course again. We also tough weather, probably the first 7, 8 holes, but it got really good coming down the final stretch there. I kind of came off the old, and I kind of felt sad a little bit because, and reason why is I had such a good time playing it the first time. But the second time was like remarkably better. And, I know I'll have probably another opportunity or so in lifetime to play it. But for the folks that say, hey, this is my only time to play the old, maybe that is their only time. And, like I said, your first experience is going to be great, but seeing it the second time and not having to be, so excited. And I mean, yeah, I was excited obviously to play it, but you really got to take it in a little bit more. and see the holes. And the old course is so much more than 1 through say 3 to 4 and then 16 through 18. I mean, it's great. And I think every time you play it, depending on where the tees are and even where you're hitting, if you're in the fairway or left or right rough, what have you, and even where the green, the holes are on the greens. I mean, it can feel like a different course or a different hole every single time you play it. I think that's the beauty of the old course. I finally probably realized and got it on the second time going out instead of it being the first time. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, not sad, but just like, oh, I like the way to fully get it is playing it multiple times, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally does. I mean, even if you're going with a guaranteed time,
Yeah.
you know, bow it a couple days. And
Yeah.
if you get lucky and you're seeing it a second time, you're right. It's a totally different experience. I mean, the first time I played it, I played it 2 days apart. And my first round, I've got 1,000 photos
Yeah.
and no memories. I cannot tell you anything that I did on the first round of at the old course, except for the final putt.
Yeah.
The second round, playing it with my brother, we walked off the first tee and he says, "Why don't we keep our phones in our bag today and just enjoy this?" I don't have a single photo and I have all kinds of memories.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing when you're in the moment and how they're able to soak in like that. And what do you know? I played a whole lot better the second time around as well. So,
Yeah, you're so right. I only took a couple. I took so many photos the first time I played it, but yeah, I only took a couple and really got to experience it more. And there's been news around St. Andrews that they're making some changes in preparation for the 2027 Open. So we played it, I think, a week or maybe 4 or 5 days before they even started those. I mean, they've been posting on their social media and emails that, I mean, they're moving dirt around, and
yeah.
and there's a list of what they're doing, and I'm not going to go into all of it, but yeah, they're making some changes, and we played it right beforehand. So they're also making some changes to the Himalayas. I think it's completely like they had pumps, water pumps from underground, above ground. So I don't know exactly what they're doing there. I don't think they're changing the contours of it, perhaps, but maybe just doing some work on kind of the grounds there. And then there was the putting green that's right off the first tee. They were also doing some work to it, and it looks like that's already done or about to be done too. So that's awesome. I didn't even like putt or anything; just went right, hit it right away, which is great. So played it how the true locals play it.
That's the way to do it. Yes,
Yeah.
that putting green was under construction when I was there in March,
Yeah.
and we got an email about the thing with near the Himalayas. I want to say it's like you said, it's like water pumps or something.
Yeah.
That's probably not right, but it was something
Yeah.
that was not really related to the course, but they
Yep.
were doing some work out there. And yes, I have the app, the St. Andrews Links
Yeah.
app, still on my phone. And so I've been getting push alerts like every day,
Sure.
either for a frost delay because it's winter, or hey, now we're closing holes 3 and 16 or 4 and 15 or whatever as they're doing their work for the Open. So exciting times in St. Andrews. It always is. I mean, there's always something happening around the home of golf, which is what keeps it interesting. So.
Yeah. So overall, great trip, great memories. It was just phenomenal being over and getting to see some new areas too. But enough about me. Deej, you were over as well on a couple different trips. So you were in England too. Now let's change the rules here. Tell me about your trip.
Yeah, take a breath, take a drink of water or whatever you need. Yeah, so roughly actually it was during the same time that you and 3 or 4 of our colleagues were
Yeah.
all over. At one point there were 5 or 6 of us over, and I was in the Surrey area near London. If you're familiar with the London area, this is kind of the region roughly a little south of Windsor Heathrow Airport area. And it was my second time in this area. I'd been there 3 or 4 years ago. This was also for an industry type event. Golf Tourism England was the name of the organization. They hosted a bunch of us. And what made this trip a little different, for example, Connor, you did a trip with a tourism body in Northern Ireland and you played Royal County Down and Royal Portrush. And then you went to England and you played Royal Lytham and St. Anne's, and you played all these headliners. Yeah. What I thought was interesting about this trip was the focus here was that second tier. So when you're going to the Surrey area, you're typically talking Sunningdale, Swinley Forest, St. George's Hill. And there's 4 courses because there's 2 at Sunningdale. Those are the 4 courses that everybody wants to play. They're all top 100 courses, and they kind of headline this region. But like we've talked about on the podcast, all of these areas for golf have tier 1 that you got to play if you can, and tier 2 that you probably should play if you've got some time and are definitely worth playing. Well, this trip focused on tier 2. So we played Walton Heath, Worplesdon, Hindhead, and the Berkshire. Now, I got to fess up, I had to leave a day early, so I did not get to play the Berkshire on the last day. I'd been by there on my previous trip, but it's a course that our members play pretty frequently. I mean, we have, at least a handful of groups a year that get by there. They have 2 courses, the red and the blue. But we led off with Walton Heath, and it was kind of funny. We land at Heathrow, and it's like 5:45 in the morning, and it is chucking down rain. I mean, it is an absolute deluge. And I'm thinking it's the day that you might have played Royal Lytham, because it was awful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to play golf in like 3 hours. This is not good. Well, what do you know? It passes, and it's cloudy, but the rain stops, and we got in our round at Walton Heath unscathed. And Walton Heath, fantastic setup. First off, they also have 2 courses, and it was a former Ryder Cup venue back in the 80s, and just an absolute fantastic experience. And what makes these courses in the Surrey area kind of unique is you're pretty far removed from the ocean. I mean, you're 50, 60, 70 miles inland, however far it is, but they're all based on really sandy soil, just like when you are near the ocean. So these courses typically play pretty firm and pretty fast, just like links golf. So you get this great combination of the serenity of parkland style golf with pine trees and the heather and so forth lining the fairways, but you get the firm running type golf that you get with links golf. So it's a great combination. Walton Heath, awesome hospitality. They have this great museum dedicated to James Braid. He was their golf professional there for 50 something years, I think, somewhere around there, a long time, many decades. But they have this little museum for him. So if you're going to Walton Heath, take a few extra minutes and they will show you this museum. They also have, he won the Open 5 times, and they have his 5 gold medals from winning the Open right in the bar. I mean, you sit down. Yeah, and here's 5 Open Championship gold medals, like just sitting right there behind you while you're having your pint. But a great day there. We then went to Worplesdon, which was a completely different walk in that Walton Heath was fairly flat. There was a little bit of elevation, but you could see from one end of the course to the other. Worplesdon had a lot more up and down. The fairways were a little tighter, a little more tree situation, a little bit more heather. Heather, by the way, let me tell you, that stuff, you do not want to hit your ball into heather. I had forgotten how penalizing it can be. You put it in the heather, you grab a sand wedge, and you knock it 20 yards to the left back in the fairway, because trying to do anything else is not great. But it's gorgeous when it blooms. I mean, it's this great purple and these vibrant colors and so forth. But I absolutely loved the day at Worplesdon. Played pretty well as well, which also helps. Little fun fact that I overheard while I was there: the club has the 3rd highest number of R&A members outside of St. Andrews, behind, I believe it was Ely and Sunningdale. Not sure the order, but random factoid to hear along the way. Hindhead, I'm going to fess up, I had never heard of Hindhead. I had heard of Worplesdon, had never been there, but I had heard of it. But Hindhead was a completely uncharted territory for me. And it is built kind of through this glacial area where millions of years ago, a glacier had carved these valleys. So you have holes that are running in the valley. You have a couple drop shot holes that play down, the greens down below. Lots of heather. Just a great experience. And Walton Heath is a place that a lot of people play. A lot of our members play there. They're in the Berkshire, at least from this trip, is where our folks generally get to. Those other 2, straight up, it's not a place that would have hit our radar. And for that member that says, okay, I'm coming in a day early, I want to knock off the jet lag and the cobwebs and so forth. Where should I go? These are two places that I would 100% say go peg it, because you'll love it. And just the area in general. I mean, you're talking, you got these courses, yes, but then the four that we named, you can spend a week there and have no trouble with plenty of fantastic golf, and not even considering the fact that you're only an hour or two to the Channel Coast, where you've got St. George's and Prince's and Royal Cinque Ports. So yeah, the golf was great, good life wise. We stayed at the Berry Steed Hotel one night, which was a great experience. It was a quick in and out, so I regret that we didn't have a lot of time there to enjoy it. We did have a nice dinner, which was great. But the Fairmont Windsor Park, listen, what can I say? I think I've mentioned it here before. It's one of my favorite hotels anywhere in the world. And it just so happens to be super convenient to this region. When the itinerary came over and it was are you able to make it happen? Because I had a very big trip that had been on the calendar about a week later for many months. And I'm debating back and forth, okay, am I really going to go to London and then come home for 5 days and then go to Japan? And when I saw the Fairmont Windsor Park on the itinerary, it was a no-brainer. The place is awesome. It's no different than what you said. These areas in England deserve more attention. If you've been over a couple times and you're thinking about going back to somewhere else, I get that. It's awesome to return to places that you love. But man, if you haven't been here, you got a lot of ground still to cover.
Yeah, I agree. England was phenomenal. But you mentioned Japan. So talk about that too. That was a big trip.
Yeah, I'll keep this one a little short because it wasn't golf related, but it was a delayed honeymoon for my wife and I. We got married earlier this year and we said, let's go to Japan in November. So we did. We were there for 2 weeks. And I tell you, it's funny the lessons that you learn in the scope of travel that you can then apply to our work. So we've talked about, hey, go a day early, adjust, get on the right time zone, but don't go right from the airport to, full tilt. Well, we went from the airport to full tilt and man, I regretted it. I needed a day of buffer. First off, the jet lag doesn't bother me a whole lot going to the UK and back, but man, 14 hours is no joke. And I needed a day. So, but applying that, just like we talk about, plan that extra day at the front, plan a day in the middle. I could have used a day where we just did nothing, and but there's no time for that because who knows when you're going to get back to Japan. I hope we do. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We'll go back tomorrow if I had the opportunity. There is a lot more of the country to see, but man, what a place. Just the cities are unbelievable. The Shinkansen, the bullet train as we call it, is, man, it's out of this world. It was my second time and I had forgotten just how impressive it is. I mean, you can go from one end of the country to the other in 3 or 4 hours or whatever it is. And it was just, yeah, it surpassed expectations. But good. I'm finally back on Eastern time zone and looking forward to the months ahead. But nice. Okay, man, we covered a lot of ground. I got one more for you before we go. Oh. What were your 3 best finds from your 3 weeks across the pond?
Yep. All right. So I could do a lot in England, but I'm going to actually, my 3 favorite new finds are from Ireland. So my first one up is the Dunluce Lodge, new property, hence the name. It's right off also the 4th hole there at Dunluce Links at Royal Portrush. Amazing property. They have kind of a separate kind of lodge, if you will. I can't remember how many bedrooms they have, but you can have it just for exclusive use, or it works within the hotel where you can have regular rooms there too. But they have a little spot. Mackenzie and Ebert built a chipping and putting green right outside. You can literally watch golfers play at the 4th hole. They also have a phenomenal wine cellar downstairs where we had a private dinner down there one of the nights too. The bar is great. Best espresso martini I've ever had there. Good Guinness. So just a phenomenal experience there. Number 2, Daisy's Chocolate in Belfast. So Cassie Stokes, who we follow on Instagram, I'd also shout her out, but she had this on her recommendation for Belfast. And it's all custom and made chocolate that is out of the store. They have different types. One week they'll have a chocolate and they won't bring it back ever. And it's all based off of kind of their sales for it. But they had one that it was an espresso chocolate, and it's a little ball of chocolate, yay big, probably golf ball size. And I bit into it, and it was the most surprising thing because it's literally liquid espresso, in it. So
Nice.
really, really cool. So that was a good spot. It's a 5-minute walk from the Grand Central Hotel. It's kind of hard to see. You kind of walk downstairs, kind of in a basement, but really unique spot, really, really small too. And then Pig's Lane, which is a new cocktail bar in Killarney, kind of on the main street there too. So those three, out of everywhere I went, those are my 3 new discoveries. There's multiple others, but those are my favorites.
That's great stuff. I have no doubt that you picked up a whole lot more. Our members are definitely going to enjoy from some of that here in the season ahead. And yeah, shout out Cassie Stokes. If you don't follow her, and if you are going to Ireland, give her a follow. She does these great little quick hit 90-second videos, typically interviewing a notable person around Ireland, just asking them, hey, what's your favorite pub? What's your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite beach? Just random questions. And I find them super intriguing. And no matter how much of the island I've covered, there's always something that's getting mentioned, some town that's like, where in the world is that? And then I have to pull it up on the map and find out. But all right, well, listen, we're wrapping this one up. For everyone out there watching and listening, thanks for sticking with us. It looks like we've been going at this for about an hour. As you can see or hear, we're pretty passionate about the things that we're seeing and discovering overseas. And thanks for tuning in and letting us share it with you. As always, we'll include everything or a lot of things that we mentioned in the show notes. We're going to take a couple weeks off for the holiday season, but we will be back in the new year. Until then, we wish you plenty of golf at its finest and life at its best.